Hello, everybody. So sorry about that. This is my very first Friday leadership stream at 9:30 a.m. every Friday. I'm going to give a moment so everyone can jump back on. This is very odd because for the very first time, I have paid YouTube members, but for some reason, I'm not able to transport all of those over to the regular stream. Guys, thank you so much for supporting my work and just spending this morning with me. I'm going to give a moment for everyone to migrate over here so that we can start this show. Okay? Hey, whomever that is watching in the background, there's 5 of you. There were about 25 of you a second ago. Please do drop your comment in the chat session. If this is your first time listening into me, and please do tell me if you can hear me. Hey, Luca, how are you? If this is your first time, let me know where you're watching me from. I should be getting a lot of folks from Europe this morning, hence why this is a morning stream every Friday. Okay, so let me know if you can hear me. Hey, Charles. Hey, Jadish, how are you, Jadish? I feel really bad for my leadership tier pay membership for the Friday stream. And I know that they're lingering on the other side. So I'm really hoping that they're migrating over here. The one bad thing is you don't want to promise your audience something and not being able to deliver. And that is exactly what happened. There was about 20 of them waiting on the other stream. So let's get started. For those who are here, good morning, Meanie. How are you? I wanted to, hey, Raleigh, not the first time, but tuning in from Montreal. Not the first time, but you are shy. If you are watching right now, um, and if this is our first time, my name is Holly Lee. I am a career coach. I came from top tier technology company with a hardware, software, and embedded, as well as a corporate trainer as well, training interviewed at Amazon. My ultimate goal is to provide you every single thing that I have known, I have taught and grown within the 2 decades of my recruiting and leadership background to help you land a position such as Amazon, Google of the world. Now, if this is your first time watching, you will know that this channel is extremely Amazon friendly. Not that I am branding myself as the Amazon career coach. I'm not, by the way, guys. I'm just a career coach. Just so happened that a lot of you who came to me are only interested in Amazon, which I get it. I spent over 6 years there. It is phenomenal experiences. But in today's episode and how my live stream work is, I will take the first 10 minutes every single Friday, and also my Tuesday session is to answer all of your Q&A regarding the Amazon interview process, okay? Today, I wanted to briefly talk about using your leadership skill. Yes, we all have leadership skill, but not a lot of us acknowledge that. I've also received a ton of messages from my community members across all of the social platform. Yes, I've read almost all of your LinkedIn messages. I know that a lot of you guys are feeling really demoted right now. You made it to the final round, you interviewed, and the position got filled with somebody else. It's okay. And I'm going to share with you guys every single thing that I've shared in my coaching platform. Okay. There is no hidden agenda with me here. That's why this is a very special, unique Friday stream, even though I've lost majority of my audience, but that's okay. I know that a lot of my VIP members are here. Hello, Annie. Hello, Sin. And Meanie, of course. So with further ado, I'm going to talk very briefly about what I mean regarding to leadership and leadership style, and what on earth do I mean by that, and how do you utilize those skills in passing not just Amazon, but any employer, okay? The one thing is the most important thing of using my top 3 leadership key points. I'm only going to talk about 3. I want you to think of it with a grain of salt, and I really want you to implement everything that I share with you in my live stream, because guys, it does take time for me to think of what I wanted to talk about every single stream. And my ultimate goal is for you to land a job so that I can add you into my alumni private Facebook group where you can mingle with the rest of the Amazonians. Okay. So the first thing is I wanted to talk about what is your hidden leadership skill, which means if you are an individual contributor, you don't have to manage people to have leadership skills, right? Um, a leadership quality or leadership skill to me is really the same thing, which is you have the ability to think very big. You have the ability to influence and persuade others. Sounds very Amazonian, right? I know. Bear with me for a second. You just know what to say at the appropriate time and what to hold back. That's irrelevant in this case, an interview setting. Even in any workplace environment, you will know how to construct your either you're putting a program or project management proposal together, collaborating with cross-functional team. You may be a sales professional, a principal account manager. Wink, wink. I know who you are. It's the same thing. There's so many leadership quality in there by how you're able to take a project from the beginning until the end. What is your execution style and how do you do it? Depending on your answer, that's what I mean by demonstrating your leadership skills and quality. The first thing is leaders really do speak fluently about their experiences. What do I mean by that? That means they only share things that are relevant to not just Amazon, not just the team you're interviewing with, the interviewer. Okay. It is so important that I've seen in my career when interview have gone wrong, where, for instance, let's just say, this is just me, for example, okay? I came from a pure hardcore technical recruiting background. If I'm interviewing a professional, um, let's just say this is true story, by the way, for retail, that is non-tech, meaning that this person worked for one of the big retail physical store. Not exciting, right? Not interesting, right? Wink, wink. I know who you are. But depending on their story, this is actually one of my community member, which I was so blown away from her because in her storytelling skills, she was able to tell me um, where she was at during this time where she had a business trip in Paris. That right there got my attention, right? Because I'm in the US. So anytime when you start your situation in your story, leadership quality, right? Pay very close attention, guys. Okay. I'm walking you through a live example here where she took a trip in Paris and she sees that there is a product of jewelries or even shoes, whatever the product may be, are not on the market. So this individual decided to focus on the Chinese market that has never done before in that geography. What does she do? She was trying to take the risk to see if the sales would a calculated risk, okay, to see if the market would respond well. Because if you guys are aware, especially the Paris market has a lot of Asian population and immigrants in there. Super smart, right? But it was the way that she was going through the action that she took to get there by diving deep into the historical data in trying to figure out what the market is calling for and what was lacking, what was the style. It was so detailed, but detail at a high level where she wasn't long-winded at all. And the end result was she was able to not only generate sales, but she was also willing to make generate $500,000 in sales. Okay, that's what I mean by leadership skills and quality. So your ability to influence in your storytelling is huge, guys. You could have 6 years of working experience, okay? But when you present yourself like that, at the bare minimum, you're a level 6. It doesn't matter if you have 4 years experience. If you could speak with so much depth and so much accomplishment in such a short period of time, which is about a minute or less, preferably 45 seconds. Okay. The second thing I wanted to talk about is having the ability to influence other doesn't matter what the situation is. Okay. If you look at the interviewer in his or her eyes, you can pretty much tell if someone is excited about you or not. Okay. I gave you a quick story a second ago about one of my community member who came from a literally physical store or sell consumer store. Not exciting for me, right? I'm a tech person. So yes, I will be on those panel as well. I have interviewed tech and non-tech as a recruiter and as someone who have trained the hiring executive team or hiring team in general. But it's the way of your delivery that's going to get me super excited. So you need to find a common denominator that works for you in storytelling so that it will pop every single STAR. What does that say, guys? Star. Yes, it's all about your star. Okay. And the final thing is knowing the career accomplishment you share and what to keep it concise or not say it at all. I know that a lot of my higher level clients, which is anywhere between director and above, director, VP, and SVP, those are the one who's really struggling with a lot more. And let me explain why. Not that it is a bad thing. It's very common. A lot of the folks at that level have been with the same job for so long where they're really struggling into picking out what's important and what isn't. And because they've been in the same company for 10 plus years, they kind of lost sense of, it's not losing sense of reality, but losing sense of what the interview skill techniques are and what employers are truly looking for, which is you only want to share relevant information. And as you're interviewing, it's not just mid-level professionals. I'm talking about executive here, guys. Okay. You need to cut to the chase and get to the point, and you're not having a conversation with your friends or your colleagues already, someone that knows you. These are folks who don't know anything about you. So, guys, you need to flip the table around and you got to ask yourself, would you hire yourself? Okay. So, I'm going to pause right there. I want to take a moment to say hello to everybody. I wanted to see who is here. Let me know if you guys have any questions with anything that I just say. Hopefully you do. That's why I'm here for this stream. And I'm really hoping that I was able to migrate everybody from the earlier stream here. So give me a moment. I just want to, oh, thank God they're here. Hey, by the way, guys, it is extremely exciting for me. For those who are a paying member of any tier in my Patreon, this Friday stream starting next Friday, because I made a boo-boo this morning, in order for you to leave a comment, you just have to be a paying member of any of my tier. Okay? It's awesome because right next to your name, I can see Eat Sleep Star. I know it's very, very, very exciting. It's not that it's not that I'm really making money out of it or anything like that, but it's just exciting that I have created emoji and my work is showcasing live. Anyway, let me just cut to the chase. Awesome. I'm just happy. Okay, so 41 of you guys are watching. Hello, everybody. Don't be shy. Let me know where you're from. Drop it in the comment below. Let me know what position you're interviewing for and what your questions are. I would love, 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 love to review your story. Okay, so if you guys have story for me, I would love to take a moment to review your work. Don't be shy. Just go ahead and drop it in. Now, YouTube only allow you to put 200 character at a time. So you would probably have to press enter pretty quickly so that I could read your story and provide feedback. This is for you guys. Jadish, how are you? Alika, hello. Thank you so much for the thumbs up and star. By the way, the Google algorithm, love, love, love thumbs up. If you can give me some thumbs up emoji, just thumbs up in general, I would love it. Love it, love it, love it. Yes. Zoe, I love it. Thumbs up and heart. Okay, that's above and beyond. Abhishek, how are you? Welcome to my channel. Vishal, welcome back. Yes. And Annie, thank you for the thumbs up and the star. Okay. Also, guys, I wanted to know why you're here this morning and what's your top of mind? Leave it in the comment below. What is in your top of mind right now? And I want to be able to answer all of your questions regarding that, because what I wanted to do is I want to make sure that you guys feel comfortable by the end of the stream. And whatever that is bothering you, I don't want you to go into the weekend with that in mind. Okay? All right. So, hello, 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 Kuldeep. Hello, Miss Mountain Dew. How are you? Excellent graphic design. Check this out, guys. I love it. That's awesome. Diane, how are you? My Patreon supporter. My Patreon and my VIP is in the house. Hello, hello. Can you guys tell how excited I am? Arda, how are you, Arda? Prashijit, hello, Prashijit. Ziona, good morning to you. Where are you watching from? I know I see a couple new names. When I say new name, I'm pretty sure that a lot of you are watching. You're very shy to say something. That's okay. If you don't have any question or you just want to be an observer, just give me a thumbs up. Okay. Do it in the emoji and you can also leave a comment. I mentioned this in the previous live stream. There's so many that have landed a job offer. So many meaning about 100 plus since March of 2020. And you're not even a subscriber to my channel, guys. Come on now. Okay. Asheen, hello, Asheen. Shimonin, if I don't pronounce your name right, please virtually correct me. Dios as bueno, how are you? Buenos dias. I just wanted to let you know that I follow your star method and I was given a job offer. Yay! Everybody, please congratulate Dios as bueno. Cool photos, by the way. Congratulations to you. What position did you end up getting an offer from, Dios? And if we are not connected on LinkedIn, I'm not sure because all of you guys have very amazing nickname. Okay, so make sure that you connect with me on LinkedIn so I can send you an invite to my private Hollywood alumni Facebook group. And there's a lot of there's ex Googler. I can't talk this morning, guys. There are Google, Amazon, and Apple folks in my community who landed a job offer. It's just an opportunity for you guys to mingle and get to know each other because there will come a time when you're really frustrated with something. We all know there's no such thing as a perfect environment, right, guys? No such thing. It doesn't exist. At your most stressful moment, whatever that may be, or lacking career growth, it's really important for you to know other professional that has the amount of years or more experience than you are so you can help each other. That's the purpose of my Facebook group, okay? Annie says, the star question will be 90% for any position at Amazon interview. Well, I love this question, Annie. Being a trainer for making great hiring decision as well, I can tell you that at the bare minimum, at least 80% of the Amazon questions are behavioral based. It doesn't matter if you are an intern, a new grad, a senior, a VP, or it doesn't matter. Okay. Even if I were to ask you, what is your leadership style? How do you measure your team? You don't really want it to talk about the STAR method, but you don't give them a one-line answer. You have to give specific example. But when you think about the STAR method, immediately you think about, okay, what problem am I trying to solve here? How did I do this? It's very, very important. Even if you were to mess up in any part of the, in any of the behavioral or situational questions. By the way, Amazon only asks you questions that are relevant to the role that you're getting. Amazon is not the company who just asks you questions such as how many windows are in Seattle. Yes. A lot of the big tier companies are still asking those, but not Amazon. Okay. So, and there are a lot of interviewer who just ask one question, such as me. I'm one of those where if I were to say, tell me about yourself, Annie, and depending on your story and how you presented yourself, if I am so intrigued with what you say, I will just keep on diving deep, peeling the different layer of onions so you can tell me more. How did you build this? Okay, awesome. Well, tell me about the hiccups along the way. What was some of the trouble that you were trying to overcome when you were trying to execute this product? How did you bring it live to market or go to market, right? And then depending on your answer, I could have literally 5 probing questions that would take up 45 minutes of our time like that. Okay. If you're in an interview and if the interviewer asks you less question, it's not a bad thing. If they ask you one question, that's actually very good. That's how you know the interview is going really well. Okay. That's why, guys, if you missed my Tell Me About Yourself, I actually have a live stream where I spoke about that. Ignore the background because that was the time that my home was going through a flood and I literally just moved back sitting on a lawn chair. But it's about the content, okay? And that's why I wanted to share this with you. When you are providing an answer, it's all about what's coming out of you as a content and does it add value. If it doesn't add value, don't say it. Okay? So, star, 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 meaning it's all about the star. Laura, how are you? Laura said, is there a framework to recycle the same story several times? Yes, there is. Number one, you should never, 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 ever um, use the same story in the same format. Never. Because there's going to be at least 6 to 7 people who sit in the same room to debrief you, which is your recruiter, your one or two, generally two phone interviewed, what I'm hearing now, and 4 panels. If you guys do the math, that is at least, 5 or 6 or so people. Okay. You don't want them to say, oh, yeah, you know, Laura gave me an example the time that she was doing this in London. Oh, is this the same story? You don't want them to think that you only have one story. All right. I actually talk about this in my Amazon Star interview playlist. If you guys take a look at my example on Invent and Simplified, I also did the same thing with the most innovative thing I've done. They're both in the Amazon Star interview playlist. Okay. I basically took my most innovative thing, how I was able to build 2 dev center from scratch, seeking budget approval from the executive in consumer back in the Amazon days, and how I was able to deliver in 4 months with 2 dev center from ground up and meeting our goal, my team goal. Okay. And I also use that example as a weakness. I also use the same example as a mistake. Do you guys see where I'm going? Yes, it's very powerful, guys. If you think about the most innovative thing you've ever done, okay, just pause for a second. Now, I want you to think about, given the opportunity to go backward, what could you have done differently to make it better, faster, maybe generating more revenue? Okay. In my case, yes, I was able to put in engineers across the world for Amazon consumer B2B. And yes, it was a successful, but the mistake and learning here was in one of my recruiting. See, it's really the same story, but I twist the whole thing around. In one of my recruiting event, it was very embarrassing because the goal and ROI is 30%, and I was only able to achieve 5% because of the language barrier in South America. Okay. I don't want to waste time here to talk about that story. But you see that? I didn't say, I built 2 dev center and I asked for budget approval. None of that. I'm diving right into the story. It's the same situation. I just twisted my situation, guys. Okay. And when you look at the most innovative thing you've done, anything that you've done, any story you have, I guarantee you, you could take them apart and turn it into different things. And that's how you do it. Should you need more help, I know that some of you are in my VIP. We can talk about that in the coaching session on Monday. That's not YouTube, by the way, guys. This is my Discord VIP member, and we could even focus on how do you use your example and slice it into 3 different stories where the interviewers are not aware that you're talking about the same thing. Coffee. Coffee, coffee, coffee. I was rushing this morning, so luckily I have Starbucks packages. I know. Instant coffee. I just didn't have time to make coffee this morning. I would rather just hurry up and come on here and hang out with you guys. Jadish says I have a first phone interview for L6 TPM. Excited and nervous. Everyone wish Jadish good luck. Jadish, my friend, I talk a lot about TPM. It's called the Amazon Interview Tips playlist. Amazon Interview Tips, okay? That is the playlist I've started 6 months ago from the moment the pandemic hit. If you look at the hyperlink that I took my time to go back in and rewatch the live stream, and by the way, I hate rewatching to hear myself speak, but to put a timestamp on there. So all you have to do is look at TPM tip. Okay. At the bare minimum, you need to know your program management lifecycle extremely well to execution. And you need to be able to have an awesome design architecture. Can you redesign or take something that had already worked to build it better and faster? And how would you do that? Okay. Lucy, how are you, Lucy? My baby Yoda Yoda. Hello, my baby Yoda Yoda. Swacha, how are you, Swacha? You know what, guys? This is I'm so well, first of all, I'm glad that I have two monitor if you see me looking this way, because for my pay YouTube community member, I know who you are if I'm looking at the screen as I'm logging in, but I'm in my software, I can't tell. Thank God for dual monitor, right, guys? I maybe need a third one. Hello, Swatchat. Thank you so much, everybody, as a pay member supporting my work and my channel. Because of all of you guys, all the pay member, that's why I'm able to come in here an extra day to hang out with you guys and answer all of your questions. Okay. Um, to be honest, it's not that I don't enjoy private coaching, but group coaching is more impactful for me and for you guys because I'm really teaching you the same thing as private clients, but I'm able to help a volume of people all at the same time versus one at a time. Okay? That's why I love group coaching and I love doing this. Vashore says, I have HR interview next week. My profile matches 85% with the job description. Can I ask for training on 15% skills or do I need to say I know it as well? What do you mean by 15% skills? Are you referring to the areas where you don't have experience? Um, First, if you guys can do me a really huge favor, let me know the position you're interviewing for so I can give you a relevant answer. Okay. The 85%, first of all, you must have the functional skill and you also need to have the culture fit or the leadership value or leadership principle. Okay. The 50% or, even the 5%, to be honest with you guys, it is how you deliver during the interview. Um, I personally have hired people that has no experiences and they're still at Amazon and they have been promoted multiple times since I left them 7 years ago. Okay. So I hope that answers your question. The answer is yes. You don't need to have every single experiences to land an offer at Amazon, but you do need to present yourself. Your articulation needs to be sharp. Your written and verbal communication needs to be very good, especially when you're looking to be promoted up in the ladder. Okay. Now, one would argue that I know I talked about matching your experience with job description. Amazon is, and I'm only talking about big tech companies. I'm not talking about anything outside of that. That is because literally it's the core of my experience in the last 12 plus years. Big tech company. In fact, the first company that I've joined as a consultant was Microsoft. It's so old. Since the last recession, not this one in 2008. I don't even put that on my LinkedIn profile because it's so old. Okay. I am telling you guys this right now. If your LinkedIn profile and or resume does not match the job description at the bare bone 80%, the recruiter is not going to reach out to you. I know because a lot of you guys send me a message and they say, and you guys were basically saying, Holly, I applied to 50 position and no one's calling me back. Stop. I also talked about stop applying to roles and start networking with all the potential hiring managers. There's actually a video on that. Okay. It's called networking. The video is literally called networking in red color in case you missed it. Okay. If you go to my video, you can see it. It's fairly new. It's about 2 months old. So check that out. Okay. So good luck to you, sir. Caesar, I will be able to tackle the workload at Amazon as a software engineer. Well, my friend, I'm not sure if you're able to tackle the workload because I don't know your background. Okay. London leader, thank you so much for being so patient. That I have a no call, no show for my other stream that I was trying to get on. Thank you so much, all of you guys, my members, for following me over here. You guys know that if there's any technical difficulty, I will be back as quickly as I can. Time is highly valuable, so I really appreciate you for being here. Okay. And for those of you who are watching, and there's still quite a number of you, give me a thumbs up and let me know what type of questions you have in mind. Okay. Don't be shy. Let me know what I can do basically to answer your questions. And that's why I am here. And if you feel like you want to give me a thumbs down or this is not to your liking, it's okay. I'm not going to force you, but you got to tell me. You have to be able, and I do the same thing in my group coaching, guys, if with my VIP folks and my Star Interview Accelerator as well. I'm constantly pumping motivation for the entire multiple community, because if you guys are shy, it's cool to be a servant and sitting in the background, but you need to be able to speak up. Use us as a guinea pig. This, guys, you guys are my virtual family. I know it's very cliche for me to say that. For those of you who are in any of my community, even my Patreon, I just did a monthly Zoom call live for 2 hours for them because I desperately wanting to help them and force them out of their comfort zone. My Patreon tier, okay? And that's like really pro bono for them. Okay? So I'm doing the best that I can, and I want to see that you're stepping up, and I want to see you dropping questions. I'm not going to leave today until I answer everyone's question. And I want you to drop it all down for me and make it hard for me, please. Hello, Trahaven, how are you? Your videos are very inspiring. Well, thank you so much. Zuana, I am watching from LA. Yay! I actually have a lot of family in LA. Grew up in Los Angeles County. Alexia, hello to you. I'm interviewing. There's a lot of folks interviewing for level 6 TPM, it seems like. I'm preparing a bit of everything and I'm stuck unsure where to start on questions. Can you suggest a list of questions to begin with? Well, Alekia, if you look at my Amazon Leadership Principle playlist, the playlist is in the Amazon color, which is orange, right? If you look at that, every single one of that video has uh, 3 to 4 questions if you are a leader or an individual contributor, okay? Focus on the leadership principle. Focus on knowing what the leadership principles are. If you don't, then you're not going to make it very far. So many of you are so fixated on creating so many questions around the LP versus I want you to turn the table around. I want you to focus answering your questions on the behavioral questions. I have it all there for you guys. In fact, all I did was copy and paste directly from the Amazon website. Okay, there's no other article or publisher or author, however you guys want to call it. Everything is on google.com, but in my channel, I'm trying to save you time. I'm only putting in things that I know would add value to you. Okay, so literally every single question is on there. And I just talked about TPM about 10 minutes ago if you wanted to roll back up. Okay? Sharab El Sanadali, how are you? If loop is failed due to missing dive deep principle, can I reapply after making needed adjustment to improve in 6 months? Well, that's not up to me. That's really to your recruiter, Sheriff. If your recruiter says that you can reapply in 6 months, then I would. If they don't say anything to you at all, that means it's not going well. But as mentioned in my Tuesday live stream, guys, for the Tuesday stream is for everybody. You don't have to be a pay member. It's 12:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. I talked about if you guys would think back on the questions where you are struggling to answer, you pretty much know what areas that you fall short, and I will spend the time in working on that. The one thing I don't want to say it's my biggest pet peeves. There are so many of you who reach out to me on LinkedIn, and several of you in my coaching platform who came to me with an interview schedule and a final loop. Okay, where I would say, you know what, if I were to mock interview you and you can't pass me, I would ask you to postpone your interview at least 3 weeks or a month later. Let's be honest with ourselves here, guys. You cannot come to me because I don't have a magic wand. I cannot get the job for you. I don't think and I hope that other career coaches don't promise to give you a job. No one should be promising you that because it has to do with relationship between you and also for yourself, okay? If you're not willing to work hard, you're not going to get any offer. It doesn't matter how good a career coach is, no one can help you but yourself. I feel like I need a moment to talk Jesus here because I have had very few folks, few meaning probably about 3 people out of my entire community. And I've had quite a number of clients who landed a position at Amazon, Apple's, and Google, right? Primarily 90% Amazon. And the ones that did not get the job are the one who came to me. They came to me because they wanted to take advantage of reviewing their story and for my weekly mock interview when they already have an on-site loop schedule and they didn't reschedule it because they were afraid that the position would be filled. Guess what, guys? They didn't get the job. And when they didn't get the job, they're not even invited to come back for at least a year or two. Okay? Again, if I were you, I would let that position be filled and focus on you. And just because you did not get the offer, why are you stopping to prep yourself, guys? This is the perfect time for you to prep. Okay? There are so many free materials online. I'm not even and you guys know that. I'm not the only career coach on YouTube. There's so many of them. So you need to find one that is a calling for you because everyone have their niche and their preferences as far as job seeker and career coaches. So you need to find the ones that clicks for you. And if I were you, I will do my due diligence and a lot of the free resources, if you follow it to the T, even with my channel, there's over 100 people who land an offer just like this by showing up. Yes, I'm preaching to you because there's just so many people who are demotivated right now. I get it. I have felt that way in the last recession and I can relate. Okay? I'm not preaching to the choir. I can relate. I have been there. It took me a really long time. In fact, it took me 10 plus years in the staffing industry, knocking on pavement to like, please hire me. Please let me fill your rec for you before I even talk my way into getting my first gig at Microsoft. Yes, guys, I talked my way into getting the position. The position never came to me. I chased it down. Okay. We'll talk about that in a different time. So I know that you're, for all of you guys, and I know a lot of you guys are feeling lacking motivation right now. I'm encouraging you to not stop. Don't pause. From the moment you pause, your momentum will go away. And before you know it, someone is going to reach out to you, which is why the power of networking through hiring manager. Hiring manager, guys, okay? I want to say 99% of my community member who actually follow every single thing that I've done are all interviewing with top tier companies. True story. Okay. So I'm encouraging you guys to do the same thing. Charles, is it normal for someone to interviewed for a solution architect role to have 3 phone interviews before getting to the loop? If you're having more than 2 phone interviews, that means you haven't answered their questions fully. Okay, my friend? That's why. It's not normal to have 3 phone screens. Generally, it's 1 or 2. For tech, it's a little tricky. And because there's so many I'm losing words here, right? There's so many candidates right now. It makes sense for them to do 2 phone screen, but 3 meaning that there's some gray area that you should probably work on that because Amazon or not, employer don't want to waste your time and not just theirs to pull you in. It's 4 to 5 interviewer full loop to waste your time. So that's why they're doing what they're doing. Okay, guys, there are 55 of you guys with 22 thumbs up. Can a girl please get a thumbs up if you guys are still excited? If you're still with me, with your coffee next to you, give me a thumbs up and say, yes, I'm ready for more. Okay? Jadish, thank you for being a pay member. Meanie, thank you very much. Jadish, thank you. Annie, Sin, Diane, thank you so much for being my pay member. Andrea, London, Laura, Andrea, my VIP member and my Patreon came to support me and became my member. You guys, heart, thank you so much for being here. Um, love the Azu. I'm here this morning just to thank you. I will be starting as an AWS. Tam is a technical account manager next week. Yay! You see, guys, this is real, okay? I literally was telling a potential client yesterday, and I said, guys, if you just listen and do every single thing that I do in any of my coaching services or platform, and you show up to any of my live streams on Tuesday and Friday, this is brand new, by the way. In average, there's at least 6 as a very low. Okay. This week on last Tuesday, I'm losing count. When you work at home and for yourself, you just don't know the day and the time or the year even. I'm losing my brain, guys. Even this past Tuesday, there's at least 6 to 7 people who came back to tell me they land a job offer. Today, so far, there's been 2. If you guys do the math, every single week, there's over 100 people who's landed an offer since March when I start streaming every single week. Okay? So you have to, it's about working hard, guys. For those who just are waiting for their start date at Amazon, thank you so much for coming back and pumping my audience to motivate them. If you could share one tip, guys, what is the one thing that helped you land an offer at Amazon? If you could share what is the one thing, what is the takeaway that you could share with everybody, that would be greatly appreciated. Okay? RP, you know I'm a friend of yours. Bayush, I have subscribed and received an offer for cloud support. This is number 3 job offer. Yay! Oh my God, you make me so happy. Ah! Can you guys tell how excited I am when someone land a job offer? Um, I have multiple coaches, by the way, and I believe that it doesn't matter how many years of experience you have. It's good to hire a coach or work with coaches that have done it longer than you, that can maybe show you things that you don't know or lack of. And a couple of my coaches says, Holly, you're delivering a lot of free content here. You need to start making money eventually, right? And I kept on telling them, guys, for the first year, everything that I've been doing for you guys, basically, guys, for the first 60 people who land a job at Amazon, it was free. Every single thing that I've done, I used to host Zoom calls bi-weekly for free. Not anymore. Now that my bandwidth is so thin. But you guys get the idea, because I'm so obsessed in seeing results. For me, the sensation when someone comes in and tell me they get a job offer and pump up my audience is so powerful than winning any amount with the lottery, which is probably about $20. It was the most I've ever won. But still, you guys got the idea. Okay? So it's like seeing your work completed. It's a proud moment for me and for everyone who works so hard. Thank you. Asheen, story of customer obsession. In 2019, oh, this is your story. Okay, cool. Thank you for sharing. Let's take a look here, okay? Everyone, I'm going to live share a story review for you guys, okay? This is number 3. Let's do this together. I'm already seeing that it's a little bit long. Okay, let's see here. Okay, let's start. Customer obsession. In 2019, I and one of my peers were helping build a set of new features for our customers when the peer decided to move on, putting the entire product dev at risk. This is actually very good. That's an excellent situation, by the way. Let me go ahead and remove that. And his task is, the problem he's trying to solve was, I took upon myself to keep the promise we made to the customer and led a team of 30 plus engineers for over 10 months working on the new features. That is diving too deep, my friend. I will simply just say, I took it upon myself to keep the promise on delivering the new features to the customers by building a team of 30 plus engineers. Boom. Just call it. Just stop right there. Don't give too much details, numbers all throughout your story. Just save them. Okay. Save them, because the interviewers need to be able to ask you a bunch of probing questions. So you want to keep them. You want to keep something. I took complete ownership of the product and worked tirelessly. No, I will. Oh, by the way, guys, I know that a lot of you have a tendency to say, I work very hard through the weekend. I work 7. No, don't do that, because the interviewers don't care. No one cares. I know I sound very cold right now, but you guys need to hear it. No one care how many hours you work, how long you work. They just care how you deliver result. Okay. So I would simply just say, with hard work to ensure all features are developed, tested, and released on time, I took, okay. Is it the same? Okay, that's continuing. Okay. It sounded like the same thing. It is the same thing. Okay, let me just. So I'm very confused here. It sounded to me that you are missing a lot of depth. The dive deep part is missing for me. The dive deep and the think big is missing for me. You pretty much went to tell me what the problem is, and you hire a team, but you didn't talk about how you let the team to give me a little bit meat. All the hard work paid off, and then you kind of talk about the result, but I'm not seeing numbers. Or were you able to save the customers XYZ dollar amount? Were you able to improve efficiency, 30%, 50%? You were able to build to help with the features to earn revenue, but what does that mean? It's just so vague. I need specific example. Okay, so that's what I would have done, Asheen, my friend. I would simply just say, and also, I wouldn't say 2019. It's just not really relevant to the story. I would simply just say, um, sure, Holly, I could share. Sure, Holly, I'll share an example of customer obsession. I like to share a time where um, I was responsible for helping build a set of new features for our customers when my peer decided to move on, putting the entire product development at risk. I saw that as a big issue and a gap to my customer. Therefore, I took upon me into gathering together a team of 30 plus engineer in continuing to build new features for the customers. The action I took was, and you also repeat ownership and product. You don't we I'm not seeing any meat. What action did you take? Because I'm not hearing any action. You guys don't spend your time on explaining what you're going to do. Just tell me, what have you done? Okay? So that's missing. The entire piece of how is missing for me. How did you do it? So now that you built a team of 30 engineer, what did you guys do? Just give me a couple sentences. What exactly did you guys do? When you talk about develop, test, and release on time, it's very vague. It just seemed a little bit vague for me. In the end, I was able. We in the end, team and I are able to build new features for our customers. In return, they're able to generate XYZ. You see where I'm going? Okay, I hope that answers your question. Okay, Sulanda, hello, Sulanda. Thank you for the star coming in and dropping me star. I love it. Let's go with my baby Yoda. I will be starting with Amazon. If it, wow, this is another person, number 4. Yay! Everybody say congratulations to my baby Yoda. Congratulations for your Amazon job offer. Andrea, new member. Welcome. Oh my goodness, welcome. I love this. I also love my YouTube bot that will welcome new member for me. I really appreciate my bot. That is the beauty of getting more than 10,000 subscribers. Thank you, everybody. Because of you guys, it has grown. Let's continue growing together, okay? Asheen, then $20 million since the release. Asheen, the way how I would end it is just don't spend your time in being so, don't spend all of your energy in generalizing, just cut right into the meat. I would simply just end it with, Tim and I are able to build the features successfully. In return, the customer were able to release $20 million in revenue. Stop right there. Okay? I want you to leave me hanging. Eon001, can't believe I have another interview in the works. Fell last year, told to reapply, and I did. Got an interview. You got this. You got this. Fingers crossed for you, my friend. Zoe, how do we need to give a star example when we talk about our strengths and weaknesses? Well, it depends, though. This is actually a very good question, Zoe. I did mention use the star method for everything, including technical and answering technical questions. Why wouldn't you, right? But when it comes to strength and weaknesses, it's good to use the star method because you are giving a specific example, right? Remember, Amazon is an extremely specific company. If you guys even bend a little bit, mix something up a tiny bit, even like a 0.1%, you will be called out because they dive really deep into your accomplishment. Okay. Let me give you guys an example. I have a video on, I don't have a video on strength because, I just don't. Unless you guys really wanted me to, I could talk about it next week. The weakness, go check it out. It's the Amazon Leadership Principle questions and examples. Okay. I talk about my weaknesses. If you look at that, I actually use the STAR method. I don't want to spend the time here to talk about it, but yes, you can. You need to talk about the situation, right? In a sentence or two, you need to talk about. By the way, your situation also includes what are your weaknesses. For example, my weaknesses is customer obsession. Let me explain what that means. Okay, you guys are listening. I'm now using the STAR method. When I was able to build a team of 25 people to be based in Austin as the first Amazon team there, Amazon development team, my new hire was struggling because we have no HR representation. That's my task. That's a problem I was trying to solve. Here's my action plan, guys. Um, I took it upon myself to learn everything I could about the HR process down to I-9 to help all of the new hire fill out their package prior to orientations, and also conducted the orientation myself because it's very important to treat our internal employee just as how we would as our external customers, which everybody does shop at Amazon. The end result of that was my new hire felt very settled in, and my leadership, the CTO in Austin, the engineering leader, was very happy that we were able to build a fully staffed team while getting everybody on board. Within 4 months after that time frame, we were able to launch AmazonBusiness.com. You see where I'm going? That is my weakness. My weakness is customer obsession. Okay, all of that is not my job. I was a recruiting leader. I'm not an HR. By the way, guys, there's a big difference between recruiting and HR. A lot of you guys mentioned down here the recruiter reach out, the HR reach out to me. They're not HR, they're recruiters. HR will never reach out to you. HR or human resources you will only engage them after you got the job, like onboarding, orientation, benefits, and whatnot. Okay. My throat are extremely dry, guys. Ooh. Stuart, hello, welcome back. How are you? Raleigh says, yes, excellent. Raleigh, my follower, thank you. I love it when community members jump in and recommend my video. Whatever question you guys have, I guarantee you there's a video for every single thing. um for my private, I don't really do private coaching, guys, because my schedule is so thin. Every now and then I would take, one, maybe two at the most the entire month, because I truly don't have the bandwidth. Even so, I reserve those spot if you are already in my VIP or any of my coaching platform or my community such as YouTube, because genuinely I do want to help you, but I don't have the bandwidth. That's why, even for those who, I'm saying this because I know you're in here, wink. I want to make sure that you're able to do your pre-work upfront. You're able to, because I will move really fast. As mentioned, because the clock is ticking, we don't have time to teach you how to write your story. We're just gonna go. We're going from 0 to 100 miles an hour. Okay. But the end result was a lot of people who took my private coaching, the ones who actually follow, even VIP member, every single thing that I've done, they do land a job offer. But consistency is key, guys. Okay, consistency is key. Is key. And when I say you guys have to practice every single day for at least 1 hour, and I want you to take your phone and hit the record button so you can hear what you sound like, so you can articulate yourself. And once you get that down, I want you to use Zoom to practice. You need to listen to me, because the folks who did not get an offer, who are in my community, which is not a whole lot, by the way. And the first thing I asked them was, how many times have you recorded themselves? And their answer is 0. Okay, case closed. Eon001. I have 8 good stories. By the way, my friend, you need at least 15. I've been practicing them. I want to get around 10 to 15 solid story. Correct. Okay, you need at least 15 story, because oftentimes you are going to get a lot of interviewers who are who could be mistaking you for someone else, or people make mistakes. It's human error, guys. Okay, you need to be prepared. There are times that they're going to ask you the same questions and you don't want to give the same answer. It's good to have multiple stories, or more than one examples per each story. Okay. And the way how I teach my entire community in all of my program is you need two story for every single behavioral questions, every single one. Again, there's not a thing that I'm not sharing with you guys, um, that I'm not that I'm not sharing with my community. This is exactly my coaching style, and you're not getting anything different from this. A lot of people get a job offer simply by doing every single thing I ask them to right here on YouTube. Okay? True story. You just heard four people who land a job offer. Laura, I have a story if you would like to review for Cloud Senior Leader, Director of Business Development and Delivery. Absolutely. Drop it down, my friend. Okay, are you guys ready for more? Here's Laura. Laura says, in 2017, I got passionate about blockchain. Blockchain is a hot thing right now, guys. And a year later, after a certification at the university and the direct involvement into two industry leader for enterprise, okay, I launched a blockchain mentoring program and aim to connect engineers looking for mentoring. Okay, it's very confusing. Let's pause for 1 second. For your situation, Laura, it's very unclear to me what position you held. Were you a professor? What are you? Are you a blockchain expert? What are you? So I would start with as a ABC for the university or whatever that may be. So situation is very important. Either you make it or you fail immediately. Okay. If I am lost, within the first 5 seconds, I'm done. I'm basically done. Okay. So you need to tell me what position you are, and you don't have to tell me who you're working with. What industry are you working with? Sure. You can tell me that you're passionate about blockchain, but where are we going with the story? What problem are you trying to solve? Okay. Uh, I need to know what problem you're trying to solve. I didn't pick that up. When you mentioned mentoring program to connect engineers looking for mentoring and to contribute to blockchain project and organization looking for engineers, it's too much tongue rolling for me. I need just to get straight to the point. The problem I'm trying to solve is, what is it? Okay. Are there any more? Because I'm not seeing any more, Laura. Okay, here it is. I realize my story is too long here, so I guess I need to review it and make it shorter. Yes, Laura, you have connection with me. We're in the same. It's okay. Don't worry. It's okay, girl. I am here. Okay, I'm here for you Tuesdays, Fridays, and every single day, Monday through Friday, as part of my community. Okay, don't worry. You got this. You got this. I know you have a phenomenal background. I've seen it. Scary, guys, but after having spent a little time in diving deep, I for me to work with anyone, even in my group coaching or private, I study your background. What career coaches wouldn't, right? Every single thing from your LinkedIn, from your um, resume, to know every single thing about you and the type of role you're interested before we even work together. And in your case, Laura, I know that you have some badass background. Um, you were also a speaker and whatnot. So there's a lot that we can play around with regarding your experiences and dragging those leadership skill out of you. Okay. Ziona, the recruiter didn't contact me anymore for the phone interview he mentioned. I emailed him again, but still no reply. How long has it been? I have heard that sometime it takes more than a couple weeks up to a month for the next step because they're so overwhelmed. I could kind of understand what the recruiters are coming from. In a normal environment prior to the pandemic, when I used to work for Amazon, literally I would have 300 email every single day. I'm not making this up, guys. 300 between my team, my stakeholders, my leadership team, and everyone else who needs me. Leadership candidates, you guys can do the math, right? For a recruiter now that they're in the middle of pandemic, I'm assuming that they have at the bare minimum 500 emails every single day. So they're probably getting lost in the weed and struggling to stay on top of things. You need to remind them every single week. Okay? Good morning, Kevin. Bear in the Wild. Good to see you, Bear in the Wild. Do you have any advice about reaching out to a recruiter? I have an application with a company not Amazon. Yay! Finally, this is not Amazon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm not just an Amazon coach. Okay. Stop it, Holly. Stop it. Okay. Alrighty. The tip is the same thing, guys. I talk a lot about Amazon because the style is the same across any company, any role, any level, any team. It's the same thing. Okay. You do want to be aggressive. Everyone, check this out. Check out Bear in the Wild. He says, "I don't want to appear to be too aggressive." Be aggressive, everybody. Okay. Let me give you an example. I have had multiple VIP member who passed the on-site interview and they were just lingering and they didn't hear a zip back from the recruiter. Finally, I have coached them to reach out to the recruiter every single 2 business day. When someone tells you you've done well for the on-site and you're expecting an offer and they're gone or they're interested pending for an interview, basically they are interested in you already. Keep tab on them every 2 business days. Politely remind them, I know you're really overwhelmed right now. I can only imagine what you're going through, recruiter. But I would really love to know what is the next step. Amazon is a dream company, and let me know if there anything I should be prepared going into this interview. Okay? So do be aggressive and go after the position, guys. Go for it. I think I've said my piece. You welcome Swacha. You welcome Jadish. You welcome London Leader. Andrea says, in my interview, 4 out of 5 interviewer asked questions around a risk that I took. Is that a normal process? Not exactly. Generally, they don't really ask the same questions. Remember what I said 10 minutes ago, where sometime an interviewer is rushing or they're replacing an interviewer with someone else. They simply just don't have the time to gather more questions, and some of them just kind of make up questions as they go. Yes, I have seen a lot of that. That's why it's helpful to have different stories. Okay, guys? It sounded like you did pretty well, Andrea. It is not normal for people to ask you the same questions at all because everyone is responsible for 2 leadership principle. Okay, if they either A, create their own questions, or B, look at the question bank. And every tech company has their list of interview questions. It's not the same. There's quite a few Laura in here, by the way. London Leader, recent challenge from AWS on a customer solution manager role. Your star stories are too old. What does that mean? Your stories are too old. Are they telling you your stories are too old? Please clarify that for me, London Leader. Neela, hello Neela. Need help updating my LinkedIn profile. So how do I get private coaching for limited time? That's a very good question. Well, Neela, I was just talking about private coaching. The money, I'm just being very honest here. I don't think any career coaches is going to do this, but I'm going to do this. My private coaching is going to cost a lot more than group coaching. The money that you're going to spend in my VIP monthly coaching, I'm going to review your branding, which is your resume. That's the first thing you do because you are great in following instructions, right? You're going to drop your LinkedIn profile and then your resume, and then I will walk you through creating your story. Everything is in a group coaching community where we are going to play ping pong, messaging each other every day, where I will make sure that you have the right branding before going into storytelling. Okay. If I were you, if you're someone who needs a lot of help and you're struggling to land job interviewed, if you're that person, then you should consider my VIP. And think about this way, guys. If you're coming to me for 1 month, I guarantee you that you would have the branding that you need and probably your story, but you need to be with me for more than a month. If you really want to land a job like an Amazon or Google of the world, you guys know that, right? Although there's about 10 people who land an offer with me anywhere between 2 weeks to just less than a month. Those are the people who have their story already and who's been practicing for months before they got to me. So when they got to me, we were so focused on mock interview. Okay. So if you're coming to me and you're expecting to get an offer in less than a month, you need to be extremely sharp, someone who's a professional who has at least 10 years of experience, then yes. Okay. But if you're truly really struggling, I would really mention the VIP is for those who need little directions. My star interview accelerator are for those who need a lot of hand holding and instructions. Those are the two differences. Okay. Reach out to me via LinkedIn. I'd be happy to share a little bit more with you, but I don't want you to spend your money in private coaching with me if you are already struggling in not landing any interview. Even if you get the interview, I don't want you to come back to me for more private coaching. You see where I'm going? I mean, I appreciate the business, but it just makes more sense for you to be in the same community with like-minded people, and we also genuinely help each other. Look, guys, look at my member who are in the group right now. I mean, 60% of you guys are in my VIP member and also my Star Accelerator. Look at this is what I mean by community. And this is why I'm so protective of the people that I'm bringing into the group, genuinely wanting to do well and a strong bias for action in doing the work. Okay. That's a tip that I would provide for you. But if you're very adamant about private coaching, I'm more than happy to. But let's chat a little bit more. I would need to look at your profile and learn more about you before we move forward. Okay. I can never get tired of check this out, guys. I can never get tired of looking at his sharks photo. Job aids. Awesome. Okay. Welcome, Hungry for Employment. Stuart says, interviewing for an L7 leader role. My first interview was not in the org. The phone interviewer was an above and across leader. Do you think this was a bar raiser? It really depends, Stuart. I've talked about the bar raiser a lot to mention that you guys shouldn't focus on being prepared or figuring out who the bar racer is. The bar racer in general is someone who would dive the deepest. Let me explain what that means. The bar racer will not let you go until they are satisfied with your answer. And that's generally a BR because they are trained with a very extensive 3 weeks lockdown of training how to interview. Okay, we're talking about 8 to 10 hours a day. So they're trained to peel the onions. Very well. That's how you recognize as a bar raiser. It really depends. A bar raiser is generally someone who is a level 1 or 2 above you. That could also be a peer. Okay. So I'm not sure. I can't tell you if that's a bar raiser or not. But what I can share with you is your preparation in creating strong storytelling and how you articulate your answer should be the same across all of the interviewer. Because even if the bar raiser gives you a thumbs up and someone gives you a thumbs down, you're not going to get the job until everyone is satisfied with you and they do have an option to change their vote. Okay? And we can talk more about that. A bishop, how many stories would be sufficient for an on-site? I just talked about that on the very top. Okay. Wahed Ali. By the way, guys, I love it and appreciate when you guys put a Q in front of your questions so I know when to get right straight to it. Recruiter reached out to me for a senior position and we have scheduled an interview in a week. Believe my peer experience of 8 years is not sufficient for a senior. A TAM, guys, is a technical account manager role at Amazon. I've seen a lot of the technical account manager at Amazon coming from some type of cloud infrastructure or solution architect background. Recently, I was able to help a level 5, level 6, and a level 7 senior TAM for Amazon. Okay. That's why I'm making the comment that I am right now through personal experiences. It's not the number of years experience you have we had, it's the experiences you have and is it relevant and how strong are your stories and were you able to articulate in answering the question. At the end of the day, guys, I mentioned this over and over again. You really need to focus on the behavioral questions from my list, not 100 questions, not 50 questions. Sure, they're going to ask you things outside of the behavioral questions, right? For a TAM role, I would really want for you to walk me through a technical problem that you were able to solve. And in this case, you can talk about the tools you use, the system you use, and even technical hiccup that you saw, and who did you leverage, the engineering team, in solving the problem before the product goes to market, or things in that nature. You see where I'm going, we head? So there's so much to talk about. This is an example, a pure example of thinking big and diving deep. And for all of you who's telling me right now you don't have story, I will prove you wrong. Everybody has some story. It's a matter of you um, really spending your time in diving deep in knowing who you are. Okay. And my throat is extremely scratchy right now. I'm going to put on a quick music and get some hot water. I will be back in 30 seconds. Okay. Bear with me. I will be back in 30 seconds. Thank you so much for your patience. Did anybody drop off? Did somebody give me a thumbs down because I had to go and get some hot water for my throat? I see you. By the way, guys, check this out. It's Eat, Sleep, Star. I know, I'm being a geek here. My friends made fun of me because of this. That's how passionate I am with the STAR method. Hungry for employment. Hello, thank you for supporting my channel. You became a member. Yay. I need to do a better job in how to move the membership emoji on here. I'm working on fun stuff. Okay. My content manager for my social platform are working on things to make it a little bit more fun for you guys. Okay. Hello, Pet. Thank you for the thumbs up, everyone. London, Abishi, Miss Mountain Dew, Annie, thank you very much. Push it, you. Hello. Thank you. Sin, thank you. Oh, look at this. I love it. Yes, give me some coffee. Forget about the STAR methods, guys. Give me some coffee. Thank you so much, Sin. Great supporter. Penda, ready for more? Yes. Passion for Amazon was useful for me. Okay. Gazim, hello. How are you? Wow, bear for the wow. Any tip for those who are super nervous? Let's help a friend bear in the wow here for a second. I know that on Tuesday I talk a little bit of the top 3 thing of how to not be so nervous when you're interviewing at Amazon. Guys, the one biggest thing I can tell you is everybody who's interviewing you at Amazon, including the bar racer, guess what, guys? They were you at one point. They were nervous like you at one point. It is uncommon for anyone to interview where they don't feel nervous. You got to have at least some level of nervousness, and that's okay. I talked a lot about every single time that I live stream for you now twice a week. You could only imagine how I feel. I literally talked about this on Tuesday, so I don't want to take up too much time. Bear in the while. I am so nervous that I have to meditate with Enya music for about half an hour to an hour before I jump on live, guys. Every single live stream, and I'm still doing it. After streaming for a year, I am still nervous, and that's okay. That's because you care. But you need to very much or very well rest your mind and think about things that will calm you down. Okay? It's okay. Just think about the interviewer having go through the same process as you do. So it's okay. And for anyone who have a better tip than mine for Bear in the Wild, please do drop it below for our friend Bear in the Wild. My baby Yoda, spend the time to prepare for the story. If you can find out the roles of your interviewers, try to map your story beforehand based in the role. Excellent. This is an advice for someone who landed an offer. Sultan, hello, Sultan. How are you? Hungry for employment. Thank you for becoming a paid member. Yay. I get so excited for a little tiny thing. If you guys give me a star, I'm like this fat smile on my face. I'm just weird. Okay. RP, what's the difference between Oh, great question. What is the difference between career and leadership membership? To be honest with you, none. Okay. Well, none. The career, the first thing that if you guys are a pay member, if you haven't noticed yet, when I'm going to start, and it's brand new by the way, guys. I literally created that last week. I'm going to start putting in content, typing content or dropping attachment right into the YouTube community. Do you guys know what I mean by YouTube community? If you go to my main channel, there's a button called community, and I can trigger it for only pay member that can see all of them. So any of the tiers, you will see those type of posts. Mainly because I don't know who's watching. I don't know what you'll be doing to my content. I want to make sure the people who comes to me are the one who's serious in not landing a job offer, but you're actually legit. There's a lot of bot on social. You guys all know that. Okay. This Friday stream is for the career tier as well as the leadership tier. I'm just opening up for everyone today right now because I made a mistake. Okay. So, and because we are in the middle of the pandemic, I am just opening up for paid member. But on the Tuesday tier is for everybody. You don't have to pay for it at all. But for the Friday tier, it's a little bit more intimate. For you to make comments on the live chat, you have to be a career or leadership tier. Okay, you must be. And for those of you who is a supporter on my Patreon, which is also $10, you can go ahead and get out of Patreon and join me on this side should you choose to. Okay, I know that with Patreon, I do a monthly live Zoom call. But to be honest with you, I have so much fun in doing this because so many people actually show up versus doing the Zoom call where a few people show up, right? Because I can't move around my schedule and my schedules are so tight. So the main difference is very, very little between the two. When I created the tiers, I just have to put 3 tiers. If I had a choice, I would just put $9.99 and call it a day. So YouTube is forcing me to put 3. So I did. I put the lowest one. I know that we're going through a hard time right now. A lot of people affected by the pandemic. I don't want you to feel that you have to really paid for me to answer your questions, which is why I did what I did for you. Okay. So hopefully that answers your question. There's no different. I just have to put multiple tiers on there. Okay. Hello, Sultan. How are you? Iman. How are you, Iman? Gates Logic Tech. Thank you so much. He says, great job what you're doing. Any advice for a second interview as an account manager? Sultan, that is every single thing I am talking about. It's all in your story. You don't have to wait to the final loop to get your story in order, by the way. You should be practicing regardless. Here's a silly tip for someone who just landed an offer at Amazon. And my baby Yada Yada says, the loop interview day is long and pretty exhausting. Make sure you have water and some energy bars right next to you. Oh my God, that's funny. That's like one of the best tips that I have mentioned. That's very smart at the same time. Make sure you have an energy bar, even a banana, anything where it's not going to create a mess. Awesome. Coffee. I would have a bottle of water so you don't spill all over the place and coffee next to you or energy drink, whatever you choose. Thanks for that tip. EE001 said, can I have one story that used multiple leadership principle? As mentioned in almost every single one of my live stream, guys, if your story is good, it will hit the leadership principle at least 50 to 80, if not 100%. Okay. So this is what I mean. When you focus on storytelling and using the STAR method, your answer is going to hit most of all the leadership principle. My weakness is bias for action, as my need for speed can affect my attention to detail. That's perfect. Everyone, check this out. Eon001 says, my weakness is bias for action, as my need for speed can affect my attention to detail. That is phenomenal situation right there. Now give me an example. What do you mean, right? It's excellent for a situation. Now let me walk you through an example. Just walk me through an example and give me a couple sentences. Okay? Good job. RP says, I have doubled the motivation now, chasing my star with more determination. Yay! Diane says, can you please review my story here? Of course, absolutely. Diane says, in my previous role as a product manager, the customer feedback indicated one of the software tool that I manage is very low. It takes more than 10 seconds to open a file. Okay. My manager and my peer disagree with me. The tool is very slow. And even I show them the data from Google survey. If the page take more than 2 seconds to open, eventually will be out of date. I leverage my team and dive deep into tool analysis and data. There were over 10,000 users and storage reached maximum level. The action I took was, after I review and analyze the tool, it's too long. You see where I'm going? As an interviewer, when I hear it, you would just stop me right there. I love your results, by the way. You have excellent result. You've done it perfectly. Here's what I would have done. Okay. You spend way too much time on your situation. That is quite a few sentences. And you need to get to the how you're going to fix a problem quickly. What I would have said was, let me give you an example of a time where I was a senior product manager. I received a customer's feedback indicating that one of the software tool that I manage is very slow. The challenge here is my manager and peer disagree with me because they don't think that uploading a page for lower than 10 second is uploading a 10 second is would cause a delay for the customers. What I've done was I leveraged my team to dive deep into the tool to analyze the data, figure out that there were over 10,000 users, which really max out the storage capacity. What I've done after that was taking the data into finding out that 30% of the users were no longer needed to access the tool, and immediately documents to need to archive so that it would speed up the system for our customers. The end result was I was able to fix this 3 times faster with productivity increase by 50%. You see where I'm going, Diane? Basically, I'm saying everything that you're saying, but I'm cutting out every single words and sentences where I don't want to hear about. So when you guys are giving your story example, it needs to be numbers. What did you do? How did you do? And I mentioned this briefly. Go back up half an hour. The interviewers don't care about anything else but what is the problem? Who did you impact? How did you solve it? And tell me about the result. That's why the STAR method is so powerful. I know that some may disagree with me, either if you're a coach or a recruiter. Listen, everyone's style is very different. My style is, I don't care if you're interviewing for a startup or multi-billion-dollar corporation like the Google of the world. The STAR method works. The bottom line, you guys saw what I just did. Okay. If you don't use the STAR, sure, you can tell a story and have a conversation, but no one is interested to have a conversation. No one is. They're only interested to see if you're the right fit for their role that they are very painfully in need to fill. Okay. Now, because they're already in pain and you know they're interviewing so many candidates, that's why cutting to the chase, it's my number one reference for you. Okay. I hope that answers your questions, Diane. And it was great seeing you yesterday. Vishal, I'm getting interview consistently, but not able to cross hiring manager around. I feel anxious and lose confidence with fear of failing. any advice how to help with this issue. Now, Vishal, I wanted to apologize. I'm not sure if you are the same Vishal that just joined my Accelerator program. If you're not, my apologies. If you are, I'm still going to apologize because now I'm beginning to get the same names as well. If you keep on failing, you need to stop applying for jobs or interviewing. Stop taking interview until you fix the problem. Guys, it's kind of like driving a car, okay? If you're driving a car and there's smoke coming out of your engine, why are you still driving your car? It's going to blow up. Okay. So I want you to think about that in every single time when you have a fail, just one fail interview. Don't keep on doing it. Okay. Take the time to be better. Again, I'm going to use the car analogy. Okay. Your engine is smoking hot. So you're going to pause, open your hood to cool it off, right? But as you're cooling off, what do? You need to put some water, is if it's the coolant, of course. You need to calm down the heat so that you can make it to the auto shop. So interviewing process is no different. You need to take a moment to zen and figure out where your misses are, and then you're going to either follow all of my instruction that's already on my YouTube channel, by the way, or should you be interested in for anyone who have failed multiple interviewed, I would recommend my star interview accelerator, because I wouldn't say it's a slower process. It is a process where you require a little bit more hand holding by going through my online course, which is extremely brief, by the way. But you are going to get a lot of the VIP membership, which I've decided to add that to you and help you with mock interview and live coaching every single week. Okay. So consider thinking about my star interview accelerator for those who have had multiple or even the first fail interview. Okay. If you don't make it to a role at Amazon, you're probably not going to get a job offer at any of the other companies. All right. Hello, Pushkar, talking about my VIP member. They're coming in. I'm so excited. Diane, thank you so much for the thumbs up and everything else. Here you go. There's a little lag, I can tell, for my software. Coffee, yes. Okay. We're going to do a little changes. Rather than just give me a thumbs up, I'm going to replace that with some coffee. I need some coffee, guys. All right. Next, who else wanted me to review their story? Drop them here. Okay. Maria. Hello, Maria. Iman, I am in a current coaching program. I'm smiling. I wish I joined months ago. Holly is on top of things. I cannot keep up with her. You're so funny. Yeah, this is my star interview accelerator. My job is to push and motivate you guys. Put it this way, guys. If I'm your career coach, you're paying with your money and also your time to me. And I know I'm not just pushing you, but I'm trying to encourage you to see things differently in your own background, because every single person who came to me, and I meant it with the bottom of my heart, especially VP and executive, okay? Everyone who comes in and say, "Well, Holly, I know I have to go through your training, but I'm ready to interview for a senior director position." But you just told me that you have failed 3 times. Why would you want to go back out there to interview for the same role again? It's almost as if it's kind of like, remember in school, guys, in chemistry class or biology class, there is a trash can with a sticker that says biohazard, do not touch. And then we keep on putting our hands in, because when someone tells us not to do something, we just keeps on doing it. So that's how I felt if a client or a student of mine mentioned that, if I say no, don't do that. Let's focus on your branding. If you wanted to stay in a leadership role, let's transform your resume and credential into a leadership role, and your story. Let's work on every single one of your story to make sure it sounds like that leadership caliber that I just spoke about in the last hour. Okay. So for those who doesn't take my instructions well, you're not going to get a job offer. Which is why, as a coach, I would never guarantee you to get a job, but I will guarantee you, and I promise I'll give you 110% of my effort. But I want you guys to work with me, not against me. Okay. Very few will do that, but the majority of them, like 80%, they're on top of things. So the difference between my two program is my Star Interviewer comes with a course to really walk you through every single thing. All you have to do is click the link and go to the next step, and I will see you there and answer all of your questions inside the program. Okay? That's the difference. Jadish, my 60-second elevator pitch. I have about 20. Oh, I'm so excited. Thank you for the star and thumbs up, Zoe. Now let's take a look at the elevator pitch. It seems a little long on here. For your elevator pitch, I know I talk about the 60-second elevator pitch and I made a video on that. If you can do it under, that would even be better. Less is more, okay? Here we go. I have about 20 years of experience in IT, and over the years, I've successfully managed and delivered several large programs in SDLC and Agile models, worth $30 million, managing team up to 150 engineers. I have a proven track record. Delivering result customer facing role for 80% of my career, managing cross-functional stakeholders. It's way too long and I just stopped reading it. Okay, so here's what we're going to do. Okay, we're going to remove this. We are going to remove that. We're just going to keep this. This is your elevator pitch right here. I would simply just say, thank you for interviewing me. I have over 20 years of experience in technology. Never use the word IT, guys. IT doesn't mean anything. What IT are we talking about? We talk about hardware, software, network, database. What are we talking about? So never use a vague word. Never, repeat after me, everybody. Never be vague when you are writing anything in getting the job you want. You have to be very specific. In this case, it sounded like software, okay? So I'm just going to assume that you do. I have over 20 years of experience in technology, or you could say in software engineering. And over the years, I've successfully managed and delivered several large programs in the software development lifecycle, along with agile models, which are worth over $30 million and manage team up to 150 engineers. I'm really interested in this leadership position with Amazon to continue my growth as a leaders and be part of what team are you interviewing for, right? So you always want to end the one line of why you want to join that specific team, and I would cut it off right there. Everything else you said about I have a proven track record, it doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. You already mentioned that you were able to execute $30 million, and that's all I care about. And you also talked about 150 engineers. That's good enough. When people say, tell me about yourself in storytelling, don't tell every single thing about yourself. Talk about a high level of your achievement in just a few sentences and call it a day. Okay? When you cut it off with the $30 million and the 150, you already got my attention. But if you keep on going, I'm just going to lose interest and continue interviewing you. Okay? So you wanted to really leave me with excitement. I hope that has answered your question. Steen says, is the second phone interview typically more difficult than the first? No, I wouldn't say so. As you guys are going through the interview process, not just Amazon but all the company, including startups, it's about the different type of questions that they needed to know about your background to see if you have the fundamental fit. That's really all it is. Okay. Annie, usually the bar raiser will appear in the last two if it is the 5 people on site interviewed. Well, it really depends. They could be the first one or the last one or the middle one. So I don't understand why everyone is so fixated in finding out who the bar racer is. I'm more interested in your storytelling. Okay? I love the music. I haven't had time to change the music, Charles. As you can tell, the last couple stream is the same song. I haven't had a chance to really pick out more of the upbeat techno or house music that I'm generally into. Hungry for employment. Wouldn't worry about the bar raiser. Treat them all the same. Be prepared. Yes. I'm going to make this extremely big. Treat all your interviewers equally and do not treat them any different. In fact, guys, I'm trying to leverage one or multiple bar racer in my Friday session. so that when we do Q&A, you can ask the bar racer directly questions, and these have to be ex-Amazonian, because with a lot of these big companies, I've actually interviewed a couple executives, um, one from Google, from Facebook, as well as Amazon. I can't even release those video because they have a very tight PR and legal team, and I can't put their face on the World Wide Web. So I am working on ex-Amazonian, and preferably my interest is a bar racer to come on here so that the bar racer, him or herself, can tell you guys to not focus on the bar racer. There's nothing the bar racer are telling you that I haven't. But I think for a lot of you, you wanted to hear directly from them, and that's okay. Okay? A couple more questions. Matteo, first time here from Italy. You're the second person from Italy today. I've had my final interview for HR internship 10 days ago. I didn't receive feedback yet. Shall I assume for the worst? No, don't ever assume, guys. Assuming is bad. It's very, very bad for you. Don't assume. Do the best you can. Be prepared. And if you haven't heard anything in 10 days, I would follow up with your campus recruiter. Okay? You welcome, Sultan. Triple J. The first thing that comes to my mind is poker. Triple J. My story example hit on various LP from my perspective. Do you recommend actually verbalizing how many example align with each LP? What do you mean by verbalizing? Can you please explain that to me? RP says, stay home, coffee, star, 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 fireworks. I love this. See, this is why I love my community, guys, because genuinely and truly, they will do whatever they can. They will come here, they will support you, they will give you, they will wait. I mean, my apologies. Sometimes when I do have a technical error, you guys hang around for me. I love it. I'm so grateful for starting this channel. Although it took me 2 years to have the courage to start a YouTube channel, the best decision I've ever done was stop pre-recording and coming in live and providing feedback for you guys in real time. Supreme, it's my first time here. I have a call interview next week with Amazon for an area manager position. Any advice? Yes, every single thing that I just talked about. I talked a lot about the area manager, and I'm assuming there's an assessment test, a math test for area manager. Okay, and there's so many things that you can find on Glassdoor as well as Google on that as well. So everything you need to prep is in all of my Amazon playlists, literally all of them. Bear in the Wild, how is the recruitment process different between Microsoft and Amazon? I just get really excited when anyone asks me questions outside of Amazon. Can you guys tell? Can you tell? God, it's been so long. It's been over a decade since the last time I was recruiting for Microsoft. Well, there's a big difference. I can tell you that. Well, the things I'm sharing with you guys are a decade ago, but I'm pretty sure the process is pretty similar. Microsoft likes to kill multiple birds in one stone, meaning that they are also a fan of interviewing you for multiple team and also considering you for the best fit for multiple team, at least, again, during the time that I was there over 10 years ago. Okay. The biggest difference is the type of questions that we'll ask. Although Microsoft do ask you questions that's relevant to the role, but they're also asking you a lot of theoretical questions to see if you are smart, kind of similar to Google, right? For instance, how many windows are in Seattle? That's a Microsoft question. I know I'm smiling. Okay. But a lot of the questions are around, data's matrix, so on and so forth, that's relevant to the role. But again, if you guys just focus on my top pick behavioral questions, if you do that, you can pass a Microsoft or any company. Literally, guys, the folks that I've helped, which they are already starting their job at the Apple and the Google of the world, even Microsoft of the world, they're using the same format. So rather than reinventing my wheel and having multiple programs, I only have one. I talk about the Amazon leadership principle a lot. I talk about the STAR method every single day, every second of the day, because it works. It's all about the STAR. if you're able to articulate the right feedback into getting into delivering result, Microsoft will love you. Okay. Great people there. And I really enjoyed my time while I was there. I was laid off. If not, I would probably still been there. It was a great company and people to work for. Sorry guys, allergies kicking in. I have to let you guys go. I actually talk a lot about the interview difference between all of them. Okay. I actually talk about it in a lot of my live stream, Hungry for Employment. But to wrap this up, if I have to summarize in one or two words, if you're interviewing at Microsoft, they're looking for smart, productive people with personality that they can actually not hang out with, but sit next to. Okay. They're very relationship focused. That's Microsoft. If you're interviewing at Google, they're looking for smart people, period, which is how many windows are in vehicles in Seattle? You see that their hypothetical questions are harder than Microsoft even. And I believe the man, how many, why is the manhole round? I believe that is a Google or Microsoft. I can't remember which one, but you guys get the idea. They care for smart. Google is the one company who would love it if you come from elite, a top tier engineering school. Okay. They care for smart. They believe that when they hire smart people, you will be able to pick up and do whatever they need you to. That's Google. Right. Phenomenal companies, great perks, love them. And then you have Facebook. Facebook won it all. If I have to describe Facebook, won smart people, although they don't really focus on just your academia like Google. But again, they have great perks as well, so on and so forth. But they do ask a lot of the relevant questions. I see the interview style of Facebook more like an Amazon, a Google combined, meaning they're looking for people with some experience, not necessarily all the experience, but it is a company that focus a lot on relationship, purely a lot on relationship. And then you have the Amazon. Amazon care for one thing: are you productive? Can you do the job? No degree, no problem. I've had, senior managers and leaders that I support, even recruiters, senior level recruiters with no college degree. Amazon doesn't care. They only care, are you hungry? Are you eager? Are you productive, smart enough to, they're looking for street smart that can do the job. If I have to describe Amazon, street smart versus just only book smart. Okay. Again, every single thing I'm sharing with you guys today is purely out of my personal experience. So take everything as a grain of salt. A lot of you guys are watching. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell notification so you do get notified. And if you are not a member yet, starting next Friday, this is member only stream, which means you are welcome to watch. It is absolutely free. But for you to leave a comment, you have to be a paid member. Okay. Thank you so much for your time. And I will see you guys next Tuesdays and Friday. Have an awesome weekend. Happy Friday, everyone. Bye.